Hello everyone and welcome to the official product demo for ATG Go, a brand new collaborative order platform available for ATG agents. What you'll be viewing here is our last demo call we had with our ATG VIP agents, telling them about ATG Go and walking them through the various features of the program. We thank you for taking the time to view this video and hope you enjoy the content. Let's begin.
So first and foremost, the website is accessible at go.atgf.com, okay? And when you get to the website, you're going to notice something really interesting at first, because it asks you for a mobile number and a PIN code, not for an email address and a password, okay? This is part of our security protocol. So what we're doing is we're attaching your login to mobile numbers, which allows us to verify with the text. And we're using a PIN code to really authenticate your device. And so we have device-specific PIN codes that allows us to really raise our level of security above what a generic username and password would be, very similar like an email and password, all right? So it's part of our security features. So when you access Go for the first time, what you can do is go ahead and register by clicking on the register link, and it'll just ask you a few questions that allow you to start your registration. All right, in order to register, you do need a current valid ATG agent number because, again, this is only available to our VIP customers, all right? So not anyone can just come in here and try to register for this, all right? Even if they just, as you notice this first question here, you can register as the attorney, and your staff can also register. Your staff can register with their own mobile number and PINs so that they don't have to share yours, all right? Security is something we take very seriously here at ATG, so we didn't want anyone sharing usernames and passwords. So instead, we eliminated usernames and passwords and went with mobile numbers and PIN codes, and the attorney can have an account, and then anyone that works at the attorney's office can have sub-accounts. And what the sub-accounts essentially mean is that paralegals and other staff members can help work on your orders, and you guys can share orders inside of the system. All right, so it's just an easy way to allow multiple users from the same office to collaborate and work on the same orders without having to share any kind of login information. All right, a quick note is, even though it does say mobile number, if there is a need for us to set you up with a non-mobile number, we can accommodate that. All you'll simply have to do is contact our help desk, and we'll be sharing information about how to contact the help desk and other ways to get support throughout this call. All right. So you come in here, you register to get access, and as long as you have a valid mobile number and the agent number, you're going to fill all this out and hit continue. Once you hit continue, you're going to get a text message with your PIN code, and then you can return to the sign-in and sign in with your mobile number and PIN code. All right? Once doing that, you're going to be brought into ATG Go and taken to the dashboard. Okay, this is the current dashboard for ATG Go that is going to be a place in the future where we add many more widgets and things to provide information, but for right now, it simply shows all of the files that we currently have. And then we also show some recent activity down here on the right, kind of showing you the latest things that happen with your files. Something to note is each file has a status. All right, and we used our blue and gold colors, which are typical ATG marketing colors for our ATG Go project. So it's not really meant to be like a red, yellow, and green, but more so the blue and the gold sort of give you an indication when it's time to act on the orders. Okay, anytime an order is blue, that means you're waiting on ATG to do something. Anytime an order is gold, that means we're waiting on you to do something. So as you can see here, my order right here that I'm highlighting, this one is ready to examine. So this is waiting for me to complete the title exam. Whereas this order here I've just placed, and I'm waiting for ATG to return the search to me. All right? So the status kind of gives you an idea of when it's time to act on the orders. And then down on your recent activity over here, you can toggle between what's ready and what's complete and what's pending, again, that blue and that gold, to just quickly access which orders that you need to act on. You know, for our customers that place a lot of orders, it's very convenient for them to just simply click on, the pending button, for instance, and then just access the orders very quickly that they need to act on. All right. If you'll also notice up here on the top right, we also have a link to our on-demand training that's very similar to this training, maybe a little less enthusiasm, but very similar to this training that was pre-recorded, and it just gives you the ability to kind of retake this training if you have a need to, or again, if anything were to happen to our screen or anything like that. So you can always log in and have access to the product demo by simply clicking on the link on the right. Okay? So kind of moving through here, one thing you'll notice is you have the ability to place an order from right here on the screen. All right, so our dashboard is sort of a collection of items that we put on this screen just to make it convenient with the user. And we're going to be adding more things on the bottom as we continue to go forward. So don't be surprised if you start to see more informational items pop up on the dashboard as ATG Go continues to get going. All right. Outside of that, we'll go ahead and talk about our orders. All right, so under our orders heading here, if you'll notice when you click on orders, the bar changes just to indicate, the bar changes color just to indicate you're now in the order section, and this just conveniently lists all of your files. Okay, one of the ways we designed ATG Go was a lot of this white space and such was put here on purpose. We didn't want to build a whole lot of things in here to distract you. This is a work environment and really made for, the production of title, related transactions. So when you click on orders, this will show you a synopsis of all your orders. You can quickly see the date, the order number, the property address, the seller's name, and the status. And then by clicking on these headings on top, you can arrange them as needed. Okay, I don't want to do that, but you can click on any of them to arrange them. All right. Then one of the staples of ATG Go, where you're going to notice throughout the application, is our Actions button. Okay, our Actions button is simply the place you go when you want to do something. Okay, all of our actions that can be done on ATG Go are essentially grouped up and put under the Actions button after an order is placed. Okay, so when coming to the orders heading, you're essentially going to have two options. Do you want to use the Actions menu under a current order, or do you want to place a new order? All right. As you can see, the Actions menu under a current order has several different things we can do, which we will go over. But first, we're going to cover placing an order. So if you want to place an order, you simply log into ATG Go and click on the Place an Order button. You can access the Place an Order button underneath the Orders tab or the Dashboard tab. All right. Upon clicking on placing an order, you have two options to place an order. The first thing you're going to notice is our Smart Order form here. All right. This order form allows you to quickly fill out a property address and transaction type and add buyer, seller, lender information, very similar to, filling out a piece of paper or placing an order on paperless closer. All right. Now we're calling this our smart order process because we have a lot of features built into these orders that haven't been previously available for. One of them is sort of our Google powered mapping. All right. So as you can see, it sort of zoomed in and found the location I'm currently sitting in downtown Chicago. And then when I go to type in an address, what's going to happen is Google's going to start looking ahead for me and say, is this the address you want? So when I click on this 7912, as you can see here, Google's going to reference, this is the property in Orland Park. This is my house. This is what I want to click on. So when I click on this, what's going to happen is Google's going to parse the information and automatically spread it throughout all the fields so that you don't have to retype it. All right, that's just one feature of our kind of Google-powered smart orders here. All right, you can go ahead and fill out a sales price. Fill out a seller's name very quickly as well. And then simply select a transaction type and then add any other information in the order you'd like. Something you'll notice is that the property address and the transaction type are the only two fields required. Now the property address has a couple of fields here with the city, state, zip, and everything else, but essentially a property address and a transaction type is all that's required to place an order. So you can place these orders very quickly if needed. All right. Down here, we have some additional options you can select. And then we also have the ability to add buyer, seller, and lender information. So if you click on this, it's going to display our advanced fields here. And this is where you can go through and add in buyers and seller information. If you'll notice, it brought down the seller's name that I typed at the top. And then we continue to add more information if needed. Now, we highly encourage you to add as much information at this stage of the order as you can. One of the reasons being is because we have several collaboration tools built into ATG Go in the form of email and sharing stuff through text messaging using the mobile number. So if you have the email and the mobile number for your buyers and sellers and lenders and everyone else, you'll want to put it in here because it'll give you advanced collaborative options moving forward as we're going to go over. All right. Also at the bottom, you can add other parties too. So if you have a different kind of party you'd like to add on, you can add them on too. And this all gathers under the order, and then you can place the order when you're done. All right. We understand that sometimes what happens is, as a real estate attorney, you may just receive a contract and need to place an order based on a contract. We don't want to force you guys to have to retype anything or tape up your available time doing that. So we also have the ability for you to simply upload a contract if you want to place an order. So if you have a copy of the contract, for instance, in your email or in your on your desktop or in your My Documents, what you could do is you can just go to Upload Contract, select your file, and as you select the file, you can actually select multiple files. So if your contract's multiple pages, or if you have a contract and something else that needs to go with it, you can upload multiple files here, and all your files will stack over on the right, and then you simply place your order. Okay, it's that easy. Now, this can also be done on a mobile phone. So what I could do on my phone is I can go to Place an Order, and when I hit Upload Contract, it's going to automatically turn on my camera. And I can quickly take pictures of the contract, upload them, and place my order. Okay, that's one of the features of the app that we're going to cover very shortly at the end here. All right, but on the desktop, if you were going to go ahead and upload a contract, you can do so by clicking this blue Select File button here. All right, you can upload your files and place your order. All right, we tried to make it very convenient and very fast to place orders. We actually timed it. To place an order and fill out the form on our app can take less than 10 seconds depending how much information you'd like to put in. Okay, so our orders was designed very similar to how Amazon functions in their buy now. So I don't know how many people use Amazon, but the buy now function Amazon that allows you to quickly swipe and buy things. That's kind of how our order placement is, especially on our iOS app. But again, when you go ahead and place an order, there's two ways to do it. You can fill out the order form using our Google-powered Smart Order form here, or you can simply just upload a contract. Either way, you go ahead and place your order, and after doing so, you're going to return out to the order screen, and you'll see your order appear here. Now, something to note is that we do have this order right here that is pending review. Okay, what that means is that I uploaded a contract to place that order. Okay, so as you upload a contract to place that order, our machine learning and other things will start to read that contract and enter that into the system. All right, so it'll take a little bit of time. So your order, if you upload a contract, will go into pending review, and then you'll get a notification. We'll go over the notifications in a little bit. You'll get a notification via text, email, or push, whatever you prefer, telling you that your order is ready once the contract has been uploaded in the system. Okay, so don't let that confuse you. If you see an order that goes to pending review, this again just means that you placed it via contract. Once your order gets into the system and loads, it'll look similar to this top one here where it has an order number. All right, that's kind of a bad example, so I'm going to go to an order that has more information. Here's an example of some order detail that has a little bit of information. So what you can see here when you click on your order is it tells me the order number, the sales price, the transaction type. I didn't fill in a buyer for this, but it quickly tells me my seller and what their email address is in case I need to get in contact with them. Something to note is on a mobile device when you look at this, the email address as well as their phone number is displayed here with little buttons. So if you just click on it, you can email them, and if you just click on the text button, you can text them. So just makes it very convenient. On the desktop here, we simply display the email in case you want to go ahead and email them. All right, but this is our order detail. So after you place your order and then you click on your order, you can come back to it. You can modify it if needed. All right. Quick reminder here, I don't know if I covered this, but after I place my order, I essentially clicked on it to get to the order detail, or I could use the actions button to look at the order detail as well. All right, it just takes me into this screen where it displays the information, and then I can modify the order, I can view the documents associated with this order, I can schedule a closing, I can add a note to communicate with ATG staff, or I can cancel it. All right. Now, something about this order is because it's pending search, I do not have the ability to examine this order. Okay, that's because the search hasn't been done yet. Once a search is done, your ability to examine the order will appear. All right, so if we go down to one of my other orders down here that's ready to examine, if I click on the actions button, you'll see that I have the ability to examine title. Okay, so after placing your order, it'll go into the pending search, and you'll get your order number instantly. All right. Then what will happen is once ATG uploads a search package, you'll get a confirmation on your phone that the search package has been uploaded, and you can start your exam. All right. To get to your exam, you simply go to the order, you select actions, and you go to title, examine title, right here. All right. But you can only do that for orders that have the status of ready to examine. All right. So once clicking on examine title, you're going to be taken into essentially our title exam screen. All right, this title exam completely replaces any type of paper form you've ever filled out in the past. Okay, so when accessing this title exam, you'll want to replace this and do this process opposed to filling out a PDF and sending it in to us or any other way you used to do it before. We're trying to encourage all of our customers to use our new process of doing an exam, which, as you can see on the left-hand side here, we've conveniently broken down into 5 easy steps. All right, the first step is essentially just confirming order information that you've already typed into the system. The second step is uploading or adding any prior information you have. All right, so here you can type in information about a prior. All right, or you can just simply, similar to the contract, you can just upload by selecting a file on your computer and clicking upload. You can upload multiple if needed. All right. On the third step here, this is very important to understand, so I'm going to do the best I can to explain. When ATG, previous to ATG Go, did a search for you, we would return back to you essentially a search package / title report with all the necessary documentation you need, along with a title examination form that you can fill out and return to us, or do it on paperless closer, which some of you might have done in the past. All right. The biggest difference between that process and this process are 2 main things. All right, number one, doing all title exams are no longer done on paper. They're done on the computer, okay? And so they're done on ATG Go in this 5-step process, which we've already covered. The second very important thing to understand that's different from before is that the exam will already be filled out. Okay, and what this means is that we're simply populating the title exam with the information from the search in certain areas that make it convenient for the user. We know that your job is to determine the insurability of title on this particular order. Therefore, what we're trying to do is conveniently lay out the information to make this process easy for you. All right, now, under here you can see that we start out with the chain of title. So it asks you, are the tax and PIN information in the chain of title correct? All right, now, one of the conveniences we've built into the system that makes it much different than other systems is we have the ability to view your documents here on the top right. Okay, so when we click on View Documents, what's going to happen is you're immediately going to get all of the documents that are present in your file. All right, so this will include a HUD if it's in there. It wouldn't be at this stage, but this will include a title report. All right, this will include any recording documents that are necessary. This will include any other documents you've uploaded to the file, any contract you've added. All right, so when you're doing your title exam, the information will already be pre-populated based on what we found in our title report. As you can see, we have a few liens and requirements down here. We have our legal description that carried over from the system, so we don't have to retype it or anything like that. All right, and then we also have a setback that came over. As you see, we have a setback of 0 here that I put in as a test. And then we have the ability to add in any additional things that we find in our report here. All right, so I got this sample document here as ATG sample title report, but essentially it would look more like this, where you have a very long title report you can go through and you could zoom in, zoom out, and find all the information you need. Okay, what you can also do is you could switch between any of the documents inside of your order, and then you can also just re-hide them by clicking on the hide. So you can view them or you can hide them. All right, and this just gives you a split screen option. What we're trying to prevent is, ATG and a lot of our new technology stack is really focused on being green. So we don't want to send you a 100-page title report and have you print the whole thing out and sit with it in your lap and do your exam. All right, so we're hoping that building the split screen functionality will provide conveniences, allowing you to quickly access the information in the title report you need and fill out the title exam with accuracy and obviously determining the insurability, which is the most important part. All right, so as we move forward from here, you'll get the option to select any other exceptions, additional documents, or endorsements you want to add on. All right, previous to this screen, we would give you a piece of paper that had a whole bunch of check boxes on it. You could check this box, check that box, do whatever you want. So we've recreated that experience, but modernized it quite a bit. So as you can see here, we have a list of all our exceptions and all of our documents and all of our endorsements, and all you have to do is move through and click on them to select what you want. And then we conveniently total them all up at the bottom here so that you don't have to go back through the list and make sure you got everything you needed. All you have to do is look at the bottom. Okay, and then again, if you need to, you can view your documents on this screen as well and kind of go through anything you need, and then come back and make your selections. All right, and then lastly, this is something new as well, is we've built in a digital signature. Okay, if you read up here, I don't have to read this to you, but the most important part being this, all right, This title exam is your responsibility to obviously complete and determine insurability. All right. As you move through this, just because it's in digital form, it has all the same parameters as any paper form would, or our paperless closure would. And it's all sort of capped off and authenticated by you by adding your digital signature. Okay, so you have the ability to add your digital signature here at the end. You can simply draw in your signature if you want to. You can upload a copy of your signature if you have it. Or what you could do is you could send ATG a copy of your signature, and we'll upload it into the system, and it'll already be populated on all your exams. And all you'll have to do is confirm it and sign it on this screen. So essentially what we could do is we could preload your signature in there so that you could read it, go through your stuff, and then confirm. All right? One enhancement we are making is that on this screen you will be able to see a summary of all the selections you made in the previous 4. So right now you're reviewing, confirming on these last 4 checkboxes that have been done, and one quick enhancement we're making is we're going to show a summary of your title exam right at the top here, so when you confirm it you can see everything in real time that you selected on the previous 4 screens. Okay? When you go ahead and confirm and select your title exam here, when you submit it, what's going to happen is your order status will change, all right? So your order status will change from ready to examine to pending commitment, okay? So as you can see here, if I look at this one here for the pending commitment, all right, I have a lot of information here, all right? I even add on a note, okay? And then I don't have the option to examine title on this one because it's pending commitment. All right, so that exam and title option, because we know that's very important, obviously very, a very important part of, what we do. What we do is we give you access to it when it's necessary for your order, and then when you get done with it and you sign it, we lock it and then basically send you a copy of it. All right, so something that you'll be able to do is view a copy of that title exam. So I'll kind of show you how that works. So for each order, all right, as we saw in the title exam section, each order has its own documents repository. Okay, we're kind of calling this our secure document cloud. All right, our secure document cloud was modeled very closely after like Google Drive or OneDrive, if any of you guys on the call are familiar with that. So if I click on the document section, again, you can see the top bar changes that tell me I'm in the document section, and then here I can simply see a folder of all of the orders I've opened. Okay, inside of the folder are your documents, which I'm sure you guys could have already guessed. So if I go on this one that says pending commitment and I click on this, inside of here I can see all of my documents, and I'll also be able to see a copy of my completed title exam that I just did and signed. Okay, so in here it'll show you a copy of your title exam along with your signature and date stamp right at the bottom. Okay, we wanted to make that process of doing a title exam very transparent and very convenient for you. All right, we know that a bulk of the attorney's job goes into really, going through that information and making sure they fill everything out accurately. Therefore, we've tried to give you the tools to make that process convenient for you. After you submit your exam, again, what will happen is we'll package up your results, drop it into a PDF document, and then put it in your documents folder here, and it'll tell you have your completed title exam here, which you can then go ahead and download. All right. Now, another feature of our document section here for this entire order, because you can see we have our title exam, completed title exam document. We also have our report, a deed, and a couple other things in here. Don't mind the double search package. That was just for testing. All right. You can upload into here as well. So let's say you have a document you need to add in here, such as like a power of attorney or something like that. Well, what you can do is you can upload into this repository by simply clicking the upload button. When you click the upload button, it's going to prompt you to select which file from your computer you want to upload, and then you could send it right into this document repository. So you no longer would need to email it to us or anything like that. If you have a document you need to add to your file, you go in on your phone, you add it to the file. You go in on your computer, you add it to the file. You no longer have to do everything through email with ATG, or really anything through email with ATG. So that's one of the biggest features of this, and one of the main reasons why we eliminated the email from the very beginning of the login too. All right, we're trying to modernize the way we do business and get away from filling your inbox with hundreds of emails. Okay, you can do a lot of things on ATG Go without ever needing to send any emails, and it's just going to take a little just a little experience getting on here and placing a couple orders for you guys to get used to the new process. Okay, all of our documents in here can also be viewed by simply clicking on them, as you guys already saw with the title exam. Then you could download them if needed, and you can also share them. So if I click on share for this completed title exam, what will happen is it's automatically going to load in the parties from my order, and then I could select who I want to share it with, and I could just hit share. Or I can add my own party here and share it with them as well. Okay, if you're on the desktop, your only option to share documents is email. Okay? If you're in our app, you can share documents via email or text. We're adding the text option to the desktop as well, but it's not there yet. Okay? So right now, if you're going to share a document, it'll pull in the parties from your order. So again, at that first order stage, if you entered in a mobile number and an email address, it'll pull to this screen right away, and you can quickly share these documents with them if you need to. Okay, and again, on the mobile app, you can share via text as well. So that's why we encourage you to put in all that information at the very beginning. All right, then you could just simply change from a list view or a grid view, depending on how you want to look at your documents, and you can also search them if needed once they start to stack up. But that's essentially what our document cloud does. We keep our order information and our title exams under the orders tab, and then we keep the documents related to your order in a repository connected with a folder with your order number. All right? And lastly, so then when we go ahead and we place our order, all right, we place our order, we get our search back, we do our title exam, all right, we get our commitment back. Then what's going to happen is, I don't have an example to show here, but we're going to have a status that's going to change. It's going to say ready to schedule. All right, now, you can actually schedule a closing for an order at any time, but there also is a status that says ready to schedule after your commitment's been returned. So once ATG uploaded the commitment for this order, it would change to pending schedule, all right, or pending closing. All right, so if you want to simply schedule a closing, what you do is you click under the closing section, or you can click on your actions button next to your order and go to schedule a closing. Okay, there's a couple ways to do it. All right, so I'll go ahead and kind of show the closings area here. So when you click on the closings heading, again, you can see the bar kind of changes, and now we're taken into our closing area. When you log into the closing area, or when you access the closing area by clicking on the menu, the first thing you're greeted with is your closing calendar. Okay, as you can see, if I kind of look back at my August, I had a few different closings here that are laid out very, kind of neatly for me here. And if I go into August, I can see I have one coming up on the 19th. And it's also showing under my upcoming closings on the left-hand side here. If I go ahead and click on that calendar entry or on the left-hand side, it's going to take me into the closing details screen, which is going to give me a lot of good information here. So on my closing details screen, I get a picture of the office with the address. I can quickly click here to get directions. All right, I have a map, and I also have a map from the property address as well. All right, I have the parties preloaded into the system, and I can add reminders. So very similar to sharing a document, after you schedule a closing, you can add in a reminder to any of the parties you have. All right, again, this is a bad example because this party doesn't have information, but if we added one in with information, as you could see here, you'll have the ability to send either a text or an email at whatever date and time you want. So let's say you look and say, okay, my closing schedule for September 19th at 1:30. I want to send a reminder on September 19th at 9 a.m., right? So you just go, select your September 19th, select 9 a.m. And then what will happen is once you hit, save, your reminder is going to queue up and send at that time. If you want to send a reminder right now, you just simply click send now. And you don't bother filling out the date and time on the top left. You just click send now, and it'll immediately send a closing reminder to your parties telling them the date, time, and location via text or email as you selected here on the left-hand side. All right. Again, after you've scheduled a closing, this is the closing details screen. Like after you schedule, you go back and look at it. Not only can you send reminders, we have a couple other things you could do. On the top right under this actions menu, all right, you can edit your closing. Let's say you need to change information, you need to change a time, or you need to change a location. You could do that by editing. Let's say you need to cancel it because something happened and this closing isn't going to go through and you need to cancel it. You can do that as well. And then we also have the ability to export it. When you push export, what's going to happen is it's going to package up, ATG Go is going to package up an Outlook invitation and kick it out for a download. So when I push export here, you'll see it's going to package up and send out an Outlook invitation down here on the right that I can now click on and add this to my Outlook calendar. Okay, just trying to make it very convenient for you to balance the closings that we'll have. If you need to schedule a new closing, as you can see on the left-hand side, we have this big yellow button here that says schedule a closing. Upon clicking that, what's going to happen is you're going to be taken to the screen. It's going to ask you to select an order. All right, these orders are in red because these closings are already over. Okay, so that's why they're in red. All right, if it asks me to select an order, I can select from any of my open orders. All right, something to note, you can only schedule closings on ATG Go for ATG Go orders. Okay, so you don't want to come on ATG Go and try to schedule a closing for an order that you did over the phone or something. All right, what we want to do is we want to place our orders in ATG Go, and then it adds all these conveniences downstream. All right, so if we wanted to schedule a closing for this order, I would simply select the order. All right, then we're given our office locations here. We also have a remote location on the bottom that you should note that if you need to do a remote location, you'll click on that and it'll ask you to enter in the address of where you want to do your closing. Okay, but for this example, we're going to select the loop. All right, then it's going to ask you a closing date, so you select the closing date, and then it's going to give you our times that are available to do a closing. Okay, the way that our closings work on ATG Go is once it's scheduled on ATG Go, it's instantly confirmed. Okay, so if you select from a date and a time that is displayed, your closing is instantly confirmed, and there's nothing else you need to do after you submit it. You just need to show up. All right. Now, if your time or date isn't available, you'll notice at the top here we have preferred time not available. So if you click that, you can go ahead and enter in whatever time you want. All right. If you do that, then what happens is your closing simply goes into a pending state until we can confirm it on our side. So as long as you choose from a date or a time that's displayed, it'll be instantly confirmed. However, as it says here, if you select a preferred time available and you put in your own custom time, such as 1 in the morning, ATG is going to have to review that and then confirm it. Once we confirm it, you'll be notified via text, email, push, however you select, that your closing has been approved. All right. And then lastly, after you select your time, the final step is you just have to confirm and submit it. And that's it. Okay. So, scheduling a closing is pretty easy. The orders sort of follow all the way through the system. All right. So if after you place your order, you can access your documents and then you can schedule your closings. So all of these headings up here are used for the orders. All right. And it all kind of starts on the dashboard when you log in. You get a synopsis of your files here, and then you can access your order information, your title exam information under the orders. You can access any of your documents, any of the other things you need under the documents section, and then you can manage your closing calendar and all the other features of your closing schedule under the closing section. All right, as you can see, it added this one in here from another upcoming closing for me as I scheduled that with you guys on the call. All right. So these conveniences were, built in to try to make it easy for you guys to do what you need to do. Again, on the mobile device, a lot of this looks very, very similar with very big buttons, making it easy to, select the closings icon at the bottom, click schedule a closing, and go through our 5-step wizard, just like we saw for our title exams. Okay. Scheduling a closing as well as doing our title exams are now simply 5-step wizards that we have to go through to allow you to quickly access and submit your information. All right, there's a couple other areas of ATG Go I want to explore as well, all right, to kind of give you guys just some more information about the system. But that primarily concludes the work aspect of ATG Go and the features of doing your orders. So we went over placing an order, looking at order details, looking at the documents, looking at the title exam, looking at the scheduled closing. One thing that we didn't go over, which I'll cover real quick, is adding a note. Okay, so you also have the ability to add a note on the file. Adding a note is the exact same as you queuing up an email to ATG that says, hey, change the buyer's name to Steve instead of Steven. Okay, you no longer need to go into your email to do that, all right? All you need to do is come into here and add a note. All right? This note will automatically be sent to the ATG staff, and they'll be notified inside of our production system. They're not using email for this either. They're going to get notified directly in our production system as we've built a full integration, and this will allow them to quickly process this note for you. Okay, so if you want to submit a note, you simply just go in here, you type in your subject, you type in, whatever your note is, and then your note will be added to the file. And then you can see your note on the bottom left here under the notes section. Again, we're on our order details screen here. So I could see my information, I could see my note, I could see my closing, and then I have all of my action options on the right. All right. A few other housekeeping items for the features of ATG Go is that all this stuff, again, is accessible on a mobile device. So I'm going to kind of show you guys real quickly what that looks like. So on our mobile device, what you'll be able to do is that whole feature of doing your title exam and seeing your documents has really been optimized for mobile, okay? So what we've done is rather than clicking that View Documents button, if you guys remember, we are in our exam and title here, and we're clicking this View Documents to take our documents in and out of our view here. What you can do on the mobile app is you simply just swipe, okay? So what will happen on the mobile app is when you go to exam and title, it's going to show you here that you can view your search package and any other items you want by swiping on the screen. If you swipe right, you get a half view. If you swipe left, you get a full view. And what that means is if you do a half view, your documents will be displayed on the upper half of your screen where you could zoom in, zoom out, or change your documents by clicking the arrows. And then you could fill out your title exam on the bottom. Again, that 5-step wizard we talked about. Okay? If you swipe the other way, your document will be full screen. And then you could view it, go through all the information. Let's say you wanted it to appear a little bit bigger or something like that. You could zoom in, zoom out, change documents by clicking these buttons at the top. And then simply return back and fill out your information in your title exam. Okay, so this feature here I'm showing you that is showing the documents by clicking View Documents and Hide Documents. This is mimicked on our mobile app by swiping left and swiping right. All right, so I encourage you guys to try it out. I've gone through several exams and tested it. It's a really cool feature, and it's also accessible and can be done on any iPad or tablet as well for those of you that might prefer it to be displayed a little bit larger. And obviously, it can also be done on their desktop, as you can see here. All right, just one other quick view of the mobile app, just to give you an idea what it looks like. So on our mobile app, this is kind of what our dashboard looks like here. When you first log in, and as you can see, we have our recent activity down here. We have a little advertisement here that we're just going to use to notify you guys about ATG stuff. It's not going to be sponsored, so that's just a placeholder. Then we have our orders, our closings, and everything you need. Okay, and then to place an order, you click this button, and then we have a menu up here on the top left you can access as well. Okay, so pretty straightforward, kind of gives you guys an idea sort of what the mobile app looks like as you guys start to use that. So here's an example of what the closing details look like on the mobile app. And as I said, if your parties have these attributes filled in, such as phone number for text or call or email, you can do that by just clicking one button here real quick. So I can send a notification or a reminder to these parties by clicking on New Notification, but I can call or text Bob instantly by just clicking these buttons. Okay, so it just kind of gives you an idea what what the mobile app looks like. All right, I think I accidentally just clicked Stop Presenting. Sorry about that. All right, and now I'm going to take you through the last piece of it, which is our profile. Can you guys see my screen again okay?
It's loading up.
Yeah, sorry about that. I accidentally clicked Stop Presenting at the top. All right, so two other quick features I'm going to show you guys about ATG Go are your profile and your notifications. All right, so as we said, under Dashboard, we have the section for recent activity. And what this is going to show you is any specific things that were done in relation to the status of your orders. Okay, so as we said, when it's blue, it's time for you to act. When it's gold, it's time for you to act. When it's blue, you're waiting on us to act. Okay, so the recent activity section shows you anything kind of related to your file status. Okay, as you can see here, it shows me recent activity on my pending order. Someone just added a new note. That was me. I did that with you guys on the call, right? Okay, we also have up here on the top right this bell. And what this bell is, when you click on it, is this is going to show you all your notifications for a file. Okay, so as you could see, note added. I could see that under here as well. I scheduled this closing. All right, so your notifications is similar to your recent activity, except this is going to tell you everything you've done in the system, not just things particularly related to your order. So here's an example. If I went into my documents section and shared a commitment with the buyer, it wouldn't show under recent activity because my file status is still the same, and that didn't have anything to do with me and ATG. All right. However, it will show under the notifications because it's something I did in the system. Okay. So the notifications is kind of tracking all the things you do in the system. And the recent activity is just showing you the information between you and ATG that has been updated recently. All right. And then finally, we have our completed file status here. Your file status will automatically turn to complete 48 hours after your closing is completed. All right. Lastly, the one other thing I want to go over and show you guys is the profile on the top right. Okay, this is kind of important. So as you log into ATG Go on the top right, you're going to see your name and your member number here, as well as a profile picture. So if I click on that and I go to Account and Resources, it's going to give me a few options underneath my profile. All right. The things in the middle here is just a graph where we're displaying some statistics about your orders. It's basically your orders versus your closings, okay? So we can quickly see, how many orders you've been placing versus the amount of closings you've done, and then we could break it down to week, month, 3 months, year, all right? So these will start to total in here for you. All right, and we also have some useful resources at the bottom. So you can quickly access our wire instructions by clicking on the link here. As you can see, we built our wire instructions into the actual website, so it's not necessarily like a PDF document. We have some sharing options available for this as well, but we've secured our wire instructions. They can be viewed there. You can look up prior policies. You can access our newsletter, request a CPL, or do any of these other things under the useful resources section. These are just some links we've conveniently included for you. All right. The main part of the profile that you want to be aware of is this right-hand side here that are these menu options, these general settings. All right. The first one we'll go over is your account details. Your account details is just an easy place where you can change your first name, your last name, or your email. All right. Just gives you some options to update your account if you need to. All right. And then you can also upload a profile picture, which I've done here. And you can also upload your signature. So remember I talked about how on your title exam it'll automatically be signed for you when you confirm it as long as you upload your signature. All right, so you can do that here. All right, now a lot of people have asked, why is your profile needed? Why is my signature needed? We have these little icons, these informational icons at the top that kind of tell you why. All right, so the profile picture is an authentication mechanism used by all the social medias and now email. Most of you have a picture in your signature of your email. We use pictures for authentication purposes. Future releases of ATG Go are going to start to tie the parties together. It's going to tie the attorney to the realtor. It's going to tie the realtor to the buyer. It's going to tie the seller to the lender. So these profile pictures are very important for people to quickly identify you and authenticate you in the system. Okay, we have some technology that's also examining these profile pictures as you upload them to make sure these are real pictures of you and not pictures of celebrities and other things. All right, so we ask you to just upload a profile picture here, very similar to like you would on LinkedIn or Twitter or something like that, because this is going to be an easy way for other users to identify and authenticate you as we build these linking features throughout the system. Okay. One thing you'll notice is you can't change your company information because that's all registered with the state of Illinois based on our attorney agent application. So if you need your company information changed, you contact us. You also cannot change your mobile number. The reason why you can't change your mobile number is because it's tied to your login. Okay, so if you need to change your mobile number, if you need to update that, you can contact us. Now, very easy way to contact us. On the bottom right, after you get logged in, we have a floating bubble that says help. All right, if you simply click on that, you're going to be greeted by our ATG Go answer bot. All right, we've built our answer bot to help quickly answer questions for you and make it convenient for you to move through the system without always having to take the time to get in touch with ATG. Okay, so for example, if I wrote in here, how do I place an order? What's going to happen is our answer bot is going to search our repository of documents and then suggest for me anything that might help me place an order. And just conveniently, we have an article that says how to place an order. All right. So if this helps you, you can click on this, and what it'll do is it'll quickly tell you how to place an order. All right, just really fast. So that saves you a phone call. It saves you an email. All right. Then it'll ask you, did this answer your question? If you said no, you continue to need help. All right. And this isn't related to your question. We have an option here where we can click Get in Touch. Okay. So Get in Touch allows you 3 options when you click Get in Touch. You can immediately start a live chat with us. Okay, this is something brand new to ATG. We have ATG Go correspondents on the line right now waiting to help you. All right, so anytime you need help with anything, you can just click live chat. All right, if you guys will notice, this bubble is apparent anywhere you go on the site. Okay, so if you're in your exam, if you're on your order, anywhere you are, you can initiate a live chat with us during business hours and tell us what you're going through, and we can help you in the system. All right. Right now, our live chat is limited to the IT department, and we're going to be expanding that to underwriting, closing services, and other areas of the company as well. All right. So you'll be able to start a live chat here and instantly get in touch with an ATG employee to start answering your questions. All right. You can also request a callback. What this will do is this will just simply prompt you for your phone number and instantly create a ticket inside of our system and tell our ATG Go correspondents to call you back. All right. So then they'll call you back based on the parameters you put in the system. So then you don't have to wait on hold. All right. And then we also have a final option of leaving a message, which is essentially just opening up a ticket where you can quickly email us and fill out the form about what problem you're having. All right. So we have those 3 options to make it very convenient for you to get help anytime you need. All right. If those options aren't enough and maybe you're locked out of the system or something like that, what you can do is you can email gohelp@atgf.com, and that's another way of accessing our direct help desk, very similar to leave a message. All right. So all these things are built in to help you. All right. So another example is I could say, how do I perform an exam? Our answer bot's going to look around and see if it can find any articles for us, and then it'll tell you how to examine title. Okay, and then you click on that, and it's going to tell you exactly what we went over. Log in, click Actions, go to Examine Title, and then it gives you some helpful tips about the title examination portal. All right, very quick and easy to get some help. All right, returning back to our profile information here. All right, so again, under your account details, you kind of upload your profile picture, upload your signature, and then fill out your name and your email. All right, linked users. What linked users is this is the area where any users, any other support staff you have on your account. Okay, so in this example here, Chris, me, I'm the attorney, right? And then my staff member here is Tana, all right? So what Tana does is she works on my files and such for me, and Tana has her own login under her own phone number, okay? And here, let's say, I got an email from Tana this morning that said, sorry, I got another job, I'm leaving the company or whatever. I could quickly cut off her access by, clicking on the garbage can, and then she's gone. Okay? Or I can simply invite a new user by adding new user here and typing in their first or last name and their mobile number. And then they're going to get an invitation from ATG Go via text to register and log in, and then they'll have access to all of your orders. Okay? So anyone under the linked user section would be your support staff and any other people who have access to your orders. All right? Kind of finishing up here, one other very important aspect is our notification section. All right? So ATG Go allows you to customize and manage your notifications however you'd like to receive them. All right? So you can receive push notifications. All right? What a push notification is, it's when you have an app downloaded on your mobile device and you get a message from the app. Okay, so for anyone that might use Facebook or LinkedIn, when something's done on Facebook or LinkedIn, normally Facebook or LinkedIn will prompt you on your device and say, hey, so-and-so has liked your post or so-and-so has shared your post, right? So that's a push notification. So ATG Go will tell you when your order status is updated, when you have new documents, new notes, schedule of closing. Any of these options you could turn on and off by simply clicking the button. All right, SMS, this is text message, okay? So let's say you want to be notified via text message when things happen. All right, you can also turn these on. All right, if you notice, you don't have to pick one of them. You could pick all 3 of them if you'd like. All right, and then we also have email as kind of a last resort here. Again, we're kind of trying to steer people away from email, but if you prefer to get notified in email, you can update it here. All right, but one of the things about getting an email is you have to go in your email box and look at it. When you get a push or a text, this is going to tell you instantly that your stuff is done. All right, so it's just the option that you have. All right, kind of finishing up here, our security settings. All right, all this is telling me I want to save my settings, but I'm not going to. My security settings here, this is just how we do our two-factor authentication. So as I said, when you register for ATG Go, you'll get a text message to your mobile device that allows you to put in a PIN code, all right? We also have Google Authenticator for anybody that uses that option. That's just a free app that can give you a code without needing a text message. So if you're interested in that, you can change that here for your two-factor authentication. And then lastly, you can change your PIN. All right, this is very similar to change password on any other site, except we do PINs here, not passwords, okay? So in here, you put in your current PIN, and then you put in your new PIN, and you confirm it, and you're done. And that's how you update your PIN. All right, so to quickly recap, we've gone over, accessing ATG Go at go.atgf.com, registering for the site and logging in. We've gone over how to place an order by clicking on the Place an Order button. We've gone over how to modify an order by clicking on the Actions button and going to Modify Order, or in the Order Details screen where you can see all your information and click on Modify Order. You can view your documents for an order by simply clicking on View Documents, and it'll take you into your repository for that order. This particular example, I don't have documents in this order. All right, and then you can also access your closing calendar and schedule closings from the closing section. You could toggle on and off weekends if you'd like. And you can also show your closings on a calendar view or in a list view if you prefer. Then you can also click on the schedule closing to send out reminders and communicate with the parties, as well as export an Outlook invitation and map out your driving directions. Lastly, we went over how to access the help section and how to talk to our answer bot. We also went over the notifications on the top right of the screen that are going to just keep track of all the activity you're doing in the system. And then we went over the profile information under the Accounts and Resources screen. Log out is pretty self-explanatory. All right, a few other housekeeping items. ATG Go is brand new. So it's like you guys are getting into a brand new race car, and we really hope you like all the features we built in. That being said, it is still new. So if you encounter anything in the system, if something doesn't look right or something doesn't perform as you expect, please reach out to us. We have people ready and waiting to help you in our live chat and many other areas. And we know that your opinion, your feedback being part of our VIP customer base is very valuable to us. So if you have any suggestions for the system or any other ways you think we can improve it, simply also send that to us through our feedback on the help bubble down here, talking to our answer bot. And what we'll do is we'll work to accommodate any of those features as we move forward. What you're seeing is ATG Go version 1. And we expect to release a couple other versions because we have big plans for many other things that this is going to do as we continue to move forward. The first phase of ATG Go has really been optimized to allow you to do your job on the go, and is really focused very particularly on creating smart orders, a secure document cloud, and what we're calling a next-gen closing calendar that allows you to instantly schedule your closings and have them approved. I want to thank you guys for attending this demo. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording now, and then we can answer any questions that we need.